Hey Raiders, welcome back to another Jerbarnicorn video on Raid Shadow Legends. This video will not be on Live Arena. Instead, this video is a brief look into what it takes to improve your Library of Champions at the late to end game. If this video keeps your attention, you probably need to activate your closed captioning so you can also read it as I'm saying it. Pause to think about what I said. An assumption is that you will have, at the late to end game, all epics at that point. In early and mid game, epics are difference makers and most legendaries are difference makers. In the end game, higher rarity champions tend to have better skills and thus be more useful, particularly in PvP. Improvement is based on getting the premium champions of higher rarity. Yes, it also includes gear and other factors. So I went through and I counted 212 pullable legendaries as of October 23rd, 2023. I counted 64 pullable difference maker legendaries. The ratios are, first, the percentage of difference makers to total legendaries. That's 30% overall. With your affinity, spirit, magic, and force, it's 23%. With void, it's 51%. Your comparable rate is your difference makers over your total legendaries. Mine is 33%, so I've been 3% lucky. So difference makers, as I'm showing you here, they're like the Sephirothos. They're the Taurus and Marichka. Whereas Rhonda, as you can see there, is not a pullable legendary, even though she's a difference maker. So she's not included. And then there's a lot of legendaries in here that are pullable, but they are not difference makers. So they're part of the 70%. So I will calculate what it takes to improve your difference maker library by using ancient and void shards, and I will ignore sacred and primal shards. Let's say you mix pulls between 2x and other events. Arbitrarily, I'll say it takes 150 shards to pull a legendary, on average. That's not your odds of pulling a legendary after 150 shards. It's on average, depending on your pulling habits, you would get a legendary every 150 shards. So let's say you have half the pullable legendaries in the game. That would be 106 out of 212. This could be a multi-year account that hasn't spent a lot of money or is free to play, or it could be a short, recent account that has spent a lot of money. 106 is slightly more than what I have. 30% of 106 is 32. So that's saying that if you have 106, half the unique legendaries that are pullable in the game, you should have 30% of those be legendaries that are useful and game-changing. I'm pretty comparable to this. My total pullable legendary count with dupes is 150. My dupe ratio is 49 out of 101. So that's 49 dupes, 101 unique. So that's almost 50% rate of dupes to unique champions. The dupe ratio rises as your champion library grows. So if you start with 1/2 the pullable legendaries on your account, your chance of pulling a non-dupe in your next legendary is 106 out of 212, or 50%. Once you get one more, then it's 105 out of 212, 49.5%. Two more, it's 104 out of 212, 49.1%. Three more, 103 out of 212, 48.6%, etc. So, as you pull non-dupes, your chances of pulling non-dupes in the future declines. If you have 50% of the pullable legendaries, 106, and you have 50% of the difference makers, 32, how many shards do you need to go from 50%, 32, to 60%, 38, that would be plus 6 non-duplicate difference maker legendaries. First, to get 6 more, you will need to pull 20 unique legendaries. That's 6 difference makers divided by 30% equals 20. You will need an estimate of 150 shards to pull a single legendary. You need 6,614 shards as an estimate, because remember that number increases to get a unique legendary as you get more. On average, to pull 20 unique legendaries and 6 unique difference makers. At $1.75 a shard, that's an average of $2.50 per void and $1 per ancient. Then it would cost you $11,575 US to get 6 non-duplicate difference maker legendaries. Now, for just a single difference maker, if you want to go from 32 out of 64 just to 33 out of 64, you can expect that you need to pull 3 to 4 unique legendaries. So that would be 1 difference maker unique legendary divided by 30% goes 3.33. Let's just say you'll get it after 3. So you would need about 909 shards and $1,590 US to pull 1 unique difference maker at this stage of your account. So if you look at buying a 20 pack of void shards, on average, that's going to get you nothing. If you buy a 20 pack of void shards and you want to get 1 unique legendary difference maker, you need 909 shards. You have bought 2% of what you needed and you spent $50. You are highly unlikely of getting anything in return for only $50. You need to spend a lot more, or you need to spend nothing. I hope this video has helped you understand a bit about what it goes in on the margin when you have a developed account, what it takes to improve the library of champions. I hope this video was helpful, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Take care, all.